cold in here. Zane, fetch my jacket. 15 minutes with Rizz, the history of vacations, and a little holiday advice from old Uncle Rafe of how to survive in a Mexican border town. Plus, a tiny stall concert from Posse in Effect, a Beastie Boys tribute. All that and more today, the number 2 show. Hello. Welcome back to 18 North Central Studios here in beautiful New York. And by that, I do mean St. Louis, Missouri. What's up, you plop stars? What's up, you backdoor bandits? You latrine legends? You crapper captains, if you will. I don't know what I'm going to call my fans. I may never know. It's been a year and a half. We're still workshopping it. There's a lot of good ones out there. I do like the Bull Patrol a lot. But we'll get to that later. I got a great show for you. It's the last show of the year. We're ending on a big one. It's a whammy. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool stuff. With that being said, I don't want to wait 1 minute longer. Let's get into our first segment. 15 Minutes with Rizz, sponsored by Rogers Towing. Welcome, Scott Rizzuto. Thank you for being here. The most consistent person on this show, besides myself, is my good bud, Scott Rizzuto. So thank you for being here, man.
It's great to be back, Rafe. Spending 15 minutes with you, which starts right now.
All right. The timer has been set. We have begun. We are here. We are live. We are doing this. It's the last show of the year, man, and I wanted to talk about, while I have you here, it's been a hell of a year.
It has been, Rafe.
Is there any event from this year? So much has happened in 2024.
Yes.
Is there any event from this year that really stands out to you, Scott Rizzuto? Maybe one or two events even.
In my personal life?
Personal life, or maybe in the zeitgeist of the United States of America.
We went through an election. That was a pretty big deal.
That was a big deal. I feel like,
We did that. Personally, 2024 was all right. It was okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, my marriage held together.
That's always a good thing. Made it another year.
Made it another year.
Congrats on that.
The kids are okay. Kids are growing up. My son is learning to drive now. That was a big step in 2024.
Are you looking forward to that? You looking forward to having a kid that can now run their own errands?
Yeah, honestly, it's going to really free up a lot of time for me.
Yeah, and you have the other kid,
The girl in waiting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's helpful. You get and now he can drive her around.
Yeah, you know what? Our schedules at home really revolve around what the kids are doing, which, listen, I have active kids at home. I have 2 athletes at home who have pretty busy schedules, and they don't drive, and I feel like I got my chauffeur's cap on, and once I'm home, I'm at their beck and call.
'Tis true. That's part of being a dad is it's a lot of driving kids around, man. It's a lot of, I was with a friend yesterday, and he was talking to his kids, and he's got 2 girls and a young boy. Boy's 14, close to your son's age, and he was politicking hard for his first car. And which to me, and this is so foreign to me. My friend does well for himself, and his son was like, well, I want a Dodge Challenger.
Oh, get out of here.
This is my first car. And he goes, my older sister got a Jeep Wrangler. My dad told me that cost somewhere between $35,000 to $40,000. I was looking at a 2021 Challenger, kind of tricked out at $30,000. That seems like a good deal. A
$30,000 first car?
Yeah, the kid was like in an oversized coat and a tie. I felt like he was trying to sell me a timeshare. I was just like, man, the fact that you have the cojones to go to your parents with a $30,000 proposition and propose that as a good deal.
Let me ask, is this kid going to be disappointed if the car is not the right color?
I don't know. I asked the kids, I go, what, did you want a Jeep Wrangler? And she goes, I just said I wanted something cool in white because white was, they use the term Sigma, which I think means alpha. I don't know.
Okay.
Sigma means cool, I found out.
My son is not expecting anything. And that's what's good about him. He's like, hey, man, whatever. He's not putting the screws to me about getting a car. Am I going to give him my Jeep? I don't know. Maybe, if he's good.
So if I gave you my 1996 Jeep Cherokee with 300,000 miles on it. Peanut butter leather seats that have been torn out with my wallet. There's an ass cavern in one of the seats, and you put a cover over that with like a bow, like the car commercials. And on his 16th birthday, you brought him outside, and you're like, "Son, I'm giving you the Jeep." And he's like, "Hell yeah, Dad! I knew you were gonna give me your Jeep." And then you took the cover off of my Jeep, and you're like, "Here it is, bud. It's all yours, pal."
I didn't say what Jeep. I said a Jeep.
I said the Jeep. Do you think he would be hyped, or would there be visceral disappointment?
Outwardly, he'd go, "Oh, cool, thanks, Dad." But I think he would be pissed inside.
Yeah, I think he would be crushed by that. I think he would be very upset.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the kids in the area that we live, they're getting new Beamers, they're getting Challengers.
High school's driving Beamers. Huh?
Oh God, yeah. There's a kid that drives a brand new Land Rover. It sits in that parking lot. I see it.
That's wild, man.
I see it.
Imagine, like, if that's your first car, like, what's the rest of your life like? Like, what are your goals?
You want for nothing.
Is it just like, I got a Lambo? Like, what are you even working towards at that?
You know what that kid's gonna do? He's gonna wind up going to Mizzou.
Yeah.
He'll go to Mizzou. He'll do his 4 years, and he'll wind up working for Dad's company. He's gonna be all right.
You're right.
He's gonna be okay.
I knew that. I don't know why I even acted like I didn't.
He's gonna be all right.
Well, aside from kids and cars, it's vacation time for us.
Yes.
Long time. You don't miss much work, and you're going on vacation. We're taking about a 3-week hiatus from the Rizz show, the #1 show, which means I'm taking a 3-week hiatus from this show too, and I'm going on vacation. Do you look forward to vacation when it comes around? Like, what is the thing that you love about vacation? Like, what's your perfect vacation?
I have a love-hate relationship with my winter break. Because I usually like to I have 25 days off contractually.
Okay.
For my job. And I like to bank 3 weeks of those, 2.5, 3 weeks, and put them at the end of the year. Because behind the scenes here, we work in radio, and the ratings don't count at the end of the year.
Okay.
So, hey, if we take 2.5, 3 weeks off, it's fine. It doesn't matter. We'll come back fresh for the new year. My love-hate relationship with the winter break is, I love not having to get up at the ass crack of dawn. Or even, it's not even considered dawn. It's still night.
Yeah. It's
when I get up.
It's middle of the night when you get up.
My alarm clock goes off every morning at 2:30. That sucks.
That's not dawn. That's a stupid person's time.
Right. So, finally being able to work on a real human schedule for a couple weeks, that's great. But 9 times out of 10, my family's from the East Coast. My wife's family's from the East Coast. Usually we're home for a day or two, and then we pack our bags, and the whole family heads off to the East Coast. And for the 2.5 weeks, we're living out of suitcases.
Yeah, and you don't love that.
I don't. It's really not a relaxing time being home with family for the holidays. Love to see everybody. Love seeing family. Love seeing friends. But living out of a suitcase when it's supposed to be my vacation, it's not very relaxing, Rafe.
I believe you. And you're doing a staycation this year.
This year we ain't going anywhere.
Is that disappointing to have to do that in the middle of winter in the middle of the country? Or does that not bother you?
No, I'm excited. We've been neglecting our house. I got stuff to do at the house.
Okay, you're going full dad mode.
I'm going full dad mode.
That's
now,
awesome.
Give me 2 or 3 days just to do nothing. And then I'll start, start getting stuff done.
I get that. Now, we're doing the opposite. I've got, full disclosure, I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm doing radio, I'm doing podcasts, I'm doing stand-up. I get after it. I pride myself in my work
and
ethic.
Nobody questions your work ethic, Rafe Williams.
But the issue with that is we're doing a vacation that's going to be a go, 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 and I'm afraid I'm going to regret it at the turn of that. Like, it's a great thing. We're going to Vegas for a night. We're going to, is Winona Judd's personal guest, name drop. Can't believe it's happening. Royalty of Country Music is having Tina and I come out. We're going to see her show in Vegas, go out to a nice dinner. Then we're hopping on a plane Sunday morning. We're heading to Hawaii for 2 weeks. Now, I ain't balling like that. I don't gamble. I don't drink. I don't have a lot of vices other than caffeine. But I do turn into a different person when I'm trying to get deals on hotels and airfare. I turn into Clark Griswold from Vegas Vacation when he goes and spends the family savings in the the shitty casino where they play tic-tac-toe with the chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
And I finagled a deal for us to go to Hawaii that I couldn't say no to. And I think it's going to be awesome. It's once in a lifetime. I've never been. I want to go. I'm trying to commit. We're both the same age, man. I'm trying to commit to these trips that I'm like, don't wait until you're too old to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Just don't think about it. I got the price down because there were strikes going on in the hotels. I don't think people were going to Hawaii. I got a crazy, and this is a very Midwestern thing that I got to tell people I got a deal because I feel ashamed of taking a vacation.
Yeah, why do you feel guilty about going to Hawaii?
Because I know it costs money, and like the economy sucks, and tons of people are getting laid off, and I feel like an asshole for even talking about it.
A couple of years ago, I met a Rizz show listener out, and he says, I hate when you talk about vacations. I go, why? He goes, because I can't afford one. And I said, that seems to be a you problem. I'm sorry I talk about my life. Anyway, Rafe, you should not be ashamed about going on your vacation. You deserve some time off. You deserve to relax. Now, here's my question to you. You're staying in Hawaii for how long?
2 weeks or like 12 days. We're
12
doing
days.
3 in Maui. We're going 3 in Kauai, which I heard is like the lush desert, or not like the lush jungle.
Sure.
That's where Lost was filmed. That's where Jurassic Park was filmed. I think we're doing a tour of the Jurassic Park set. And then we're going to the big island of Oahu for 6 days to Waikiki Beach. Waikiki!
I'm hearing, and I was with you when you were planning this trip. I'm hearing a lot of tours. I'm hearing a lot of adventure time and hiking and seeing the sights. Of those, what'd you say, 12 days you're going?
Yeah.
How many of those days will be spent not doing anything?
Well, here's the thing. The first half, Maui, I'm going there. Full disclosure, I'm a psychopath. I do believe the universe gives you clues of when you're supposed to do stuff. Chris Christopherson lived in Maui. He lived in Hana. He passed away this year. Willie also lives. I'm slowly watching my heroes pass away. And I was like, you know what? You can get on Reddit. You can see Willie Nelson sometimes and his son play impromptu concert at his bar.
Are you going to stalk Willie Nelson while you're in Hawaii?
I'm not stalking Willie Nelson. I'm not stalking him. I'm not stalking. Technically, will I be at his house? Yes, but is that?
Will you know his exact schedule? Yes.
Do I have a triangulated satellite GPS on Willie Nelson's bust that I shot like a James Bond villain onto it? Yes, I do.
Will you go through his garbage? Yes, as long as it's out by the curb.
Yes, because if he doesn't want it, that's technically memorabilia for me.
Right.
But I did hear that he plays at his bar, and that we will be. So we're going to go to his bar. I'm going to go see Chris Christopherson's home now that, it's for sale. I want to go take some pictures there.
Put a bid down.
Put a bid down, and do a couple days in Maui. That'll be us driving around doing a few things.
I feel like that's not relaxing time, Rafe.
I know. Then Kauai, same thing. I'm going to do all the hikes. But then the Waikiki Beach is I'm going full Magnum PI, dude. I'm going mustache, which I can't grow. I'm going to put it on. Detroit Tigers hat. I'm going to put a little fake mustache on. Not a Hitler, a big full one, a full bushy one. Then I'm putting on, and I'm just putting on some shorty shorts, and I'm going to be hanging out in a palapa for 6 days. And I'm not getting too crazy.
So you're going to relax on the back end of the trip, not the front end?
Back end, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to get all the hiking and the touring, and we're going to go do the Pearl Harbor thing because I feel like if I go there and I don't do it, that's a very un-American of me.
You got to do that.
So I'm going to do that. That's the only thing I'm doing on the Big Island. But I am afraid because sometimes, you need a vacation from your vacation.
Yeah.
I've done this before, and I'm afraid on the back end I'm going to get back and I'll be like, fuck, we got radio in 3 days.
No, I think you'll be good because as long as you're relaxing on the back end of the vacation, you'll be ready to get back to work. And honestly, we usually have our best shows the first week of returning from break.
Oh, yeah, everybody's fresh.
Everybody's fresh.
We missed each other.
Uh-huh.
We got new stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited for.
Well, I hope you have a great trip. And I know, talking to Tina, she's really looking forward to Hawaii as well.
Yeah, that's great.
And the fact that you got a deal on it, whew, man.
Yeah, I got a hell of a Midwest deal. I'm not going to say what it was, but I'm going to tell you this. I got almost $12,000 knocked off in Cyber Monday deals. And it's not it's not a crazy amount. It was the same amount for us to go to like Mexico for a week. I got Hawaii for 2 weeks.
Well, you'll be staying in homeless shelters, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I have to stay the part that's on fire, but it's fine. That's fine. I like being warm.
A deal's a deal.
A deal is a deal, dude. Deal is a deal. Yes, do I have to have sex with the hostel owner? Yes, I do. But that's fine. That's currency. You know what? I don't know. Will I come home with dreads and full native islander tattoos all over me? Maybe. But
herpes, a weird Hawaiian strain of it? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't think that's cultural appropriation because Hawaii is part of America and I'm American.
You're fine.
So I feel like if I look like the dude from Moana when I get back.
Like Maui from Moana.
Yeah, dude.
You'll be fine.
You're welcome. Cool. Well, to wrap it up, man, is there anything that Rizz is looking forward to in 2025?
I look forward to being back on the number 2 show in 2025 and broadcasting to all you toilet heads out there.
That's what you're looking forward to in 2025.
That's it.
Well, guys, what an honor.
Well, what am I looking for? I mean, listen, 2025, it's going to be a year of a new president.
Yeah.
Hope.
Okay.
And health.
Health is good.
And wealth.
Wealth is good.
And
is there anything on a personal level you're looking forward to?
Now, we got a lot of things going on we can't talk about yet.
Yeah, you're right. We do have some things. We're cooking up some good stuff.
We're cooking up some stuff.
I'm excited
for the number 1 show, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about it next year.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Well, I wish everybody a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and have a great New Year.
Thank you, Scott Rizzuto. You're a wise man. You're a wise and loving father. Father Christmas, Scott Rizzuto. He's not a bah humbug anymore. He's a loving man. Do we have time left?
Nope.
Yeah, I feel like we went over.
You're way over. Goodbye.
All right, he's out of here. I knew we were over. I was like, I've been watching my clock. Like, why isn't he getting up and leaving? What a sweet man. All right, say goodbye to Scott Rizzuto, everybody. And that concludes a segment I like to call 15 Minutes with Rizz. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to the show. Thanks for hanging in there with me. It's nice to have you all back. You know, before the break, I was talking to Rizz about our vacations, and it got me wondering, where the hell did the concept of going on vacation come from? You know? So let's talk about it on a segment I like to call The Annals of History.
From the Annals of History.
Seems like the concept of vacations, at least as we know them today, largely began after the American Civil War, with wealthy individuals like the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers establishing private great camps in the Adirondack Mountains of New York, essentially vacating their city homes for summer retreats, thus the term vacation. Because the Brits said holiday, and fuck them, we didn't secede from the colonies to be calling our bullshit holidays, okay? It's a vacation. It gained widespread use in the United States around that time. Key points I'd say about the history of vacations are these. Well, not exactly the modern vacations. The first people to travel for pleasure were considered to be wealthy Romans who would spend extended periods by the Mediterranean coast. I assume engaging in bacchanal and banging young boys. I don't know what they did in Rome. I'm not from there. I just know what I've seen in the movies. Now, the rise of the industrialization and longer working hours made the need for leisure time more apparent, contributing to the development of vacation practices in the modern era. That sounds way cooler than banging little boys by the Mediterranean Sea. The Adirondack Mountains seem to be the place where it all started in New York. It's considered a significant location in the history of American vacations where wealthy families started building summer retreats. Well, Nigel, you simply must go up into the Adirondacks. That's where Adirondack chairs came from. They were bored and they built them up there. Don't look that up. I don't know if it's true. Post-World War II prosperity, increased paid vacation time, and wider car ownership allowed more widespread family vacations for the middle class, you know. Where do most people go on vacation today? Well, it depends on where you're from. Individual preferences and popular destinations tend to be beaches, coastal areas, national parks, large cities, resort towns like Aspen or Vail, with specific locations varying based on regional accessibility and interest. Now, that all sounds great. I grew up poor to lower middle class, and it didn't catch on as quickly. Like, I don't think I remember taking a vacation growing up. I was talking about this the other day. You know, I pick on Disney adults quite a bit, like people that go out and plan their vacations, and they're like, you know what? I love Disney, and I'm going to go down to Disneyland, and I'm not ashamed of being a Disney adult. And that's fine. I've talked about it on this show before. You do you, homie. You do you. But my God, anyone who grew up in a blue-collar family in the 80s, can you imagine your grandfather? Can you even wrap your mind around the fucking concept? Me going into my grandpa, union bricklayer's home, built his house with his own bare hands, never complained, dude. I was thinking about grandpas the other day, and I was like, I never heard my grandpa. The only thing my grandpa, he's up at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's going to work. He's tinkering in the garage. He's putting stuff into baby food jars, nuts and bolts, organizing it, screwing it to the ceiling. He was always putting varnish on something. Old guys are always out tinkering around. The only thing I ever heard my grandpa complain about was everyone else not working as hard as he was. That was it. He didn't talk about his mental health. He didn't talk about his knee hurting. He didn't tell me he was tired. He never. I don't know if he ever admitted to having the flu once in his life. So could you imagine a man of that ilk coming to the family, coming to the family, scrimped and saved to buy a Studebaker just so he could, live the American dream. The guy paved his own driveway with asphalt on his hands and knees. Build his house brick by brick, and he goes, family, gather around. I'm 6 kids, wife, Effie Jane. Grandpa's a big Disney fan, and Grandpa's decided this year he just wants to take a little me time and go down to Disney World by himself. I just want to meet Mickey and Minnie and Pluto. No, kids, it's not weird. It's not weird at all. Me and Grandma are going to go down there without you. And we're just going to hang out. I'm going to take a little break from bricklaying and mowing the grass and helping my friends build decks and sheds. And I'm going to go down there and I'm going to ride Space Mountain because that's what Grandpa's always wanted to do. Your fucking head would have exploded his head would have exploded if those words ever came out of his mouth. That's wild to me now. Vacation is such an ingrained part of society. People take them when they can't afford them. Hell, I'm guilty of that. Spring break is ingrained in our society as a rite of passage for kids that, got their TV up on cinder blocks with a 2x4 holding, eating ramen noodle every night, but they're like, hey, I gots to go to Destin, Florida. Like, it's part of I got to go down there and get an STD. That's how life works. It's just a wild, wild thing in our society. I mean, I went to South Padre Island, spring break. It was a fun time. I had no money. Crossed the border in Brownsville, Texas. Went to a little town called Matamoros, Mexico. Found out later they were kidnapping spring breakers down there. A satanic cult. You can look this up. We're kidnapping spring breakers and cutting their heads off and turning their skulls into cauldrons to cook stew in. And I'm down there just drunk off my ass, pissing in alleys, doing shots of mezcal, dancing with Mexican gals. Not a care in the world. That's just kind of the life we live now. We went to a Mexican strip club while we were down there, and I don't recommend that to anybody. Here's a travel tip this holiday season. If you're out with your family and you decide to cross into a border town, Mexico and Cancun ain't the same thing. There are precautions that need to be taken in a border town. It is, yes, it is easier to find a donkey show. It is also easier to find yourself in a precarious situation with your friends that could cost you your lives or your freedom. We went down there, some strip club. I don't remember the name of it. Doesn't really matter for this story, but we were like, oh, if you go to a border town, only go a few blocks away from the United States border. Don't get too deep into the border towns because the deeper you go, the darker things get. And honestly, you put yourself in a precarious position. But we didn't know any better. We were young and dumb and full of piss and vinegar, and we went down there, and I remember going to this club with like 10 of my friends, and my friend had gotten a student loan check, and we're drinking, and they're giving us free shots of mezcal. There's nice-looking Mexican gals in Walmart lingerie walking around everywhere. We were having a good time. And a little short Mexican guy with an eye patch on it. I'll never forget the guy because he had an eye patch. I mean, I'd never seen a guy in the wild with a real eye patch. I felt like I was in a movie. Like this dude was like a little Mexican dude with like a pirate's eye patch on. A little tiny guy in a tuxedo, but he didn't have the bow tie on. He just had the tuxedo shirt on underneath. And he's like, you guys need a private dance. Private dance. And we're like, oh, that's how much? $10. $10, amigo. Seemed like a good deal. So my friend, now remember, there's about 8 to 10 of us. I think we read something on, somebody's like, hey, don't cross the border with more than $50 on you because you're probably going to get robbed anyway. And you had to keep a quarter in your sock to get back across the American border. There was a turnstile where you needed a quarter. So the hot tip was like put a quarter in your shoe. So if you get drunk or get robbed, you can at least get back to the United States. Because you didn't drive across, you walked across the border. We get into this, and then they take us in this back room. My friend decides, he's like, well, here's $100. I'll have a lap dance, private dance for all my friends. And they took us in a room that has a long set of toilet stalls that look just like this set. And I'm not kidding you. They just didn't have toilets in them. Yep. Go to the wide, just like this. There was a shower curtain where the door would be, and there was a stool on the ground, just like a little stool like you'd see in a boxing ring, like you'd see a boxer sit on. And we all sat down. The girls start dancing. Let's see, what were some big club hits in this era? Let's look real quick. Let's see what some of the club number ones were back then. Let's listen to it. I bet this one was playing. I bet Lady Marmalade from Moulin Rouge was probably playing. Let's play this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Moulin Rouge.
Now we're in a border town. Woo! Moulin Rouge is probably playing in the background. Maybe the thong song.
Sisters, let me hear your flow, sisters.
Lil' Kim.
Sister, go, sister, soul, sister,
Flow, sister. Hey, sister, soul, sister, flow, sister, go, sister. Moulin Rouge. Man, I forgot that Maya even existed, dude. My brain just broke open when I saw who sings this. And weirdly, she looks kind of like Maya Rudolph. Is Maya Rudolph Maya? Do we need to do a deep dive on this in another episode? Maybe. But it was Lady Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, Pink, and Maya doing Lady Marmalade. And that's just basically what we were having. These girls were dressed like this. We're having a good time. I sit down on a stool. The dances begin. And that is where things took a turn. And I'll tell you exactly what turn they took right after this short break. And we're back. And now when I left you, I was telling you I was getting grinded on in a Mexican strip club after a one-eyed pimp in half of a tuxedo put me and my friends in a bunch of bathroom stalls that look a lot like this. We're all sitting on stools. We got Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim. We got good music playing, dude. Good, we were just doing it. It was that time of year. Club hits 2001 spring break, There was a lot happening. Let's find another hit because I want to reset the scene. God, Lifehouse was a band. I keep forgetting that. Hanging by a moment here with you. Drops of Jupiter. God, what a horrible year for music. Get Your Freak On, Missy Elliott. That was a good one. Well, anyway, I lost interest in this. This is a lot harder than I thought. Point of the story is this. We were getting grinded on. We meet a one-eyed Mexican pimp. He's like, amigos, go in this room, and there's 10 of us, and my friend decides to throw down a $100 bill, and we're all getting danced on. And now I'm in the stall getting grinded on by a woman, and we're having a good time. One song plays, 2 songs, 3 songs. I'm 4, 5, 6 club hits in at this point, and I'm like, man, this is awesome, dude. It really is affordable down here. No wonder people would cross the border into Mexico. It's a much more affordable party. Now, and we were very trustworthy lads. We had already been through the gambit here. We had a guy be like, you guys want to party? We followed him down a dark alley over some planks, over what I think was a sewer, into the back room of some place in the dark. It looked like the beginning of Blade when everybody gets killed in that techno rave. We were just in there. I was wearing a sombrero, very culturally insensitive. They put it on me, but I was wearing it. I was dancing around in a wife beater. It was 2001. I probably had a puka shell necklace on. Not a good look. I'll admit that. Got away with that. We had already kind of skated by, gotten away with a few things. Very irresponsible lads. As I said, I found out later there was a satanic cult in Matamoros, Mexico, cutting people's heads off and kidnapping spring breakers. That's where we were. We were right in the thick of it in Matamoros. Then we ended up in these bathroom stalls, and that's where our luck ran out, guys. And I was sitting there getting grinded on, and all of a sudden, the music slows down. The girl's like, okay, thanks, Poppy. She leaves. Well, me and all my friends are like, man, what a great time. And there's that little one-eyed pimp standing there outside all these bathroom stalls. He's like, you owe me $700. We said, what? He's like, $700. We said, whoa. You said $10 a song, or $10 you said $10 a person, my man. And he said, no, $10 a song per person. So you left that part out, homie. So now this guy wants $700. We maybe got 150 between us. Maybe. And we're like, well, we're not paying you, man. It's a little guy, a little one-eyed guy. He doesn't even have good depth perception. Fuck this guy, right? 10 of us, one of him. He whistled like a movie, dude. All these giant Mexican dudes look like the fucking bigger than the wrestler, the Giant, just appeared out of the woodwork, dude. Like there were secret passages all over this place. And they got zip ties in their hands. And they're like, we're going to arrest you and give you to the federales. And they start putting my buddy's hands behind his back and zip tying like hog tying him in these big, like, industrial strength zip ties. And I'm like, we're in big fucking trouble here, boys. And then the negotiations begin. We're like, ho. Now, we had already been negotiating throughout the night. That's how we knew it worked. Like, a lot of these places are competing for your business. We'd be walking past the club. They'd be like, $10, all the mezcal you can drink. And we're like, $5 a piece, and our buddy gets to DJ for an hour. And he's like, deal! So there's a lot of commerce. There's a lot of barter. There's a lot of barter town happening down there. These guys were not in the mood to barter. He wanted $700, and he wanted it now. And somehow we got into a negotiation, and we gave him all the money we had. And I think it was $150, $175 or something like that, and we got the hell out of there. And party was over in our border town. And we just had to walk across the border. We all had to dig the quarter out of our shoes, walk back across the border into Brownsville, Texas, with a hard-fought common sense lesson learned about how to party in Matamoros, Mexico. I figured out that Brooks and Dunn song was for real. Kind of like a lost and found in a border town, asking about a diamond ring. Well, they look at you like you lost your mind and say they haven't seen a thing. But I know she's been here lately. I can still smell her perfume. One-eyed pimp almost killed us all. I don't think that's in the Brooks and Dunn version, but the sentiment was there. Anyway, that's a lesson I have to impart to you at the end of the year about traveling abroad. Stay away from Mexican strip clubs, and if you go, know that whatever they're charging, it's per song, not for the dance. We've all learned something here today. That concludes a segment I like to call The Annals of History. Welcome back. I don't know what else to say. Today's been a fun episode, and I got a real special treat for you guys to cap the year off. So without further ado, I'll end on this. Please enjoy this tiny stall concert from the Beastie Boys cover band extraordinaire, My Posse in Effect, baby.
All right. Dropping bombs on y'all straight out the stall.
Well, just plug me in just like I was Eddie Harris. Eating crazy cheese like you would think I'm from Paris. You know I get fly You think I get high? You think well I'm gone, and I'ma tell you all why.
So tell me, who are you dissing? Maybe I'm missing the reason that you smile. It's so wild, it's a mission in my head. I just wanna take him down. Imagination set loose, and I'm gonna shake him down.
I let it flow like a mudslide. And when I get on, I like to ride and glide. I got depth of perception in my texture. I get props and momentum cause of extra.
So what you want?
What you want?
You're so funny with the money that you flaunt. I said, who'd you get your information from, huh? You think that you can front when revelations come?
Yeah, you can't front on that.
Well, they call me Mike D, the
ever-loving man.
I'm like Spoonie G. I'm that metropolitan. You screaming, you holler about my Chevy Impala. The sweat is getting wetter than that ring around your collar.
Well, like a dream, I flow without no stopping. Sweeter than a cherry pie, we ready whip topping. From mic to mic, kicking it wall to wall. I be calling out to people like a casting call.
Well, it's whack when you jack in the back of a ride. What you know with the flow when I'm out getting by. Believe me, what you say is what you get, and you see me. I'm coming up so you can bet.
Well, I think I'm losing my mind this time I'm losing my mind. That's right, said I think I'm losing my mind this time.
This time, I'm losing my mind.
St. Louis!
Yeah, you can't front on that.
So what you want?
What you want?
So what you want?
What you want?
So what you want?
What you want?
So what you want?
What you want? See, little do you know about something that I talk about. I'm tired of driving, it's new time that I walk about. But in the meantime, I'm wise to the demise. Got eyes in the back of my head, so I realize.
Well, I'm Dr. Spock, I'm here to rock, y'all. I want you off the wall. If you're playing the wall, I said what you want?
What you want?
I said what you want?
What you want?
Yo, these suckers write me checks, and then they bounce. I reach into my pocket for the fresh amount. See, I'm the long leaner, Vincent the cleaner. I'm the illest mother from here to Gardena.
Well, I'm cool as a cucumber in a bowl of hot sauce. You got the rhyme and reason, but got no cause. If you hot to try, you think you're slicker than Greeks. I got news for your cruise. You'll be sucking like a leech.
Yeah, you can't front on that.
So what you want?
What you want?
What you want?
So what you want?
What you want?
So what you want?
What you want?
I said, so what you want?
What you want?
Big up to the number 2 show. We
Number
appreciate
2
you.
show.
We're dropping deuces on y'all.
With Zane.
Zane,
My man
Rafe,
Zane.
my buddies. Yeah, buddies.
Heck yeah.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's the final show of 2024. Rizz and I talked about our vacations. I taught you an important lesson about the history of vacations and how to keep yourself safe if you travel abroad into Mexican border towns. And you got a great concert from a bunch of cool dudes in chains and tracksuits. I don't know what else you could want to blow out the candles of 2024. But if you enjoy the show, and I found out, and this is exciting, we finished in the top 5% this year of video podcasts on Spotify. I found that out, and that's such an honor, and that's because of you guys out there watching and paying attention and being into what I'm doing. And a way to keep growing that into 2025 is if you like and subscribe and share. Like I said, this is not a genre. This isn't true crime. I'm not doing a cooking show here. I'm doing a talk show from the shitter, and that is a one-of-a-kind program. So anything you can do to get the word out about that is helpful to me. I want to keep this thing going and make it bigger and better and more entertaining and more fun in the new year, and I hope that you will be my partner in that. So all you shitheads, you Bow Patrol, you dookie danglers, you dingleberries, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Until next year, this is the number 2 show. I'm your host, Rafe Williams. Thank you. See you next year.